Good afternoon. My name is Jose Maria Zavala Cervantes and my partner here, Kyle Andres Suyihig. We are making this video to present the app functioning of this week's application for a week 10 challenge. So for this application, we included 4 different screens. The first one is including the cover screen. We used basic elements such as images, labels, horizontal arrangements to create spaces between them, and two labels for our full names and the clock to swipe immediately as we have done on the previous challenges. Now with the screen number 2, we have also icons, buttons, elements, um, labels, and also horizontal arrangements to organize and to create spaces between the elements. So we also included 2 new elements below, which are invisible. The first one is the notifier and the TinyDB element. This will be some sort of database, and we will explain later how this works. Then with the screen number 3, we have horizontal arrangements to organize the buttons, labels, some more spaces, text boxes to insert numbers and data, and a button including an icon to add the elements. Then we move to the screen number 4. This will include the same buttons, text boxes, labels, horizontal arrangements, invisible elements such as these labels, which will be used to print information, and also pre-written labels. And that is basically it for the app interface. We also included, and we also included the same database for the entire application. And basically that is it for the app interface.
So when we open the app, it displays the cover screen. Then it takes you to the kind of menu. So you have 3 options: add expenses, balance, and erase list. First of all, the add expenses button. Can you click it, please? So you write there your expense and the budget you use to it. For example, lunch for school, 100 pesos. Then you add it to the list. And another expense can be gas, 300 pesos. Um, Food of the weekend, 500 pesos. And yeah, so you can return to the menu and see your budget in the balance. We have some technical errors, but we're here. So you can click to the balance button and you can see the budget you use for every expense, for example. And also we add a function to order the money we spend from lowest to highest. So in the text box, you write your budget. It can be like 2,000 pesos. You calculate it with the bottom, and it shows you the difference of your budget and the total money you spent. Also, if you have a less budget than you spend, it shows you a negative number in red. And we can return to the menu screen, and we have to hold the erase list button, and it will clean the list, and we use a notify to say that all the nodes have been erased, and that will be all.
So now let's move on with the block section. First, on the screen one, we only use the same procedure we have on the previous challenges. We use a clock element to swipe off automatically after 5,000 milliseconds to the next screen, which is called screen 2. Then we move to the screen 2, and we have the displayed menu here. We have 3 buttons. So the 3 buttons will, each one of them, take you to a different screen or do certain action. To simplify our task, we use procedures. We apply the procedure here. So whenever this is called, it will open another screen named with the variable X. So when the first button, expenses, is clicked, the variable X will be swiped to 3, and it will join the text screen. So it will basically swipe automatically to the screen number 3, and that is the same procedure for the screen, the second button, the expenses button, I'm sorry, the balance button. And then if we hit a long click on the button list, which is the last one, erase list, it will display a notification including the note we already presented to you, and it will clear all the information from the database. This element is called TinyDB1, well, TinyDB element. It will help us to save information on the user's application. So it will simplify tasks and avoid the user typing their expenses every time they run the application. I'm sorry. On the screen number 3, we have a pretty extensive programming. First, we program the return button, and then we set a variable. So whenever screen 3 initializes, which we are on actually, the DB element will be called, and then we used a condition. When the button add is clicked, you will the app will save these 2 values, the number value from the amount of money and the text value from the note about the expense. So then the application will ask if the elements are empty, then the notification will show a note including the message, please type a new note in the blank spaces. This is so the database doesn't save a empty element, so it avoids glitches and errors. Then if the text boxes are with the required data, then it will perform this procedure, which will be saving the information to the database. And then after it, the text boxes will be cleared so the user can type another new element. Then we move to the screen number 4, which was the most difficult part. We start programming the same button for the return button. Then we use a total of 2 variables. So whenever the screen 4 initializes, the variable will be the same as the database we use. Then the application will ask something. if this variable equals to 0, which means if the database doesn't have any information, then it will display a text including no notes to display. This is also to avoid glitches. Then we used a cycle. For each counter from 1 to the number of elements the user added, I'm sorry, this variable will be changed to the addition of the element, all the elements of the database, and then the text box, the labels will be changed, will print the information from the variables and from the database, and we used the same counter as on the cycle. Then we used another two variables to include the budget. So whenever the button is pressed, the button calculate is pressed, the application will save the information from the text box, and depending if the budget is greater than the expense, the text will be a green color. And if, as we previously showed, if the budget is in less amounts or is lower than the actual expense, the application will tell you with a red color that you are exceeding your limit of expenses. And basically that's it for the entire application. We used also this set of blocks will order the elements from the least to the greatest, so the greatest expense will be the last one displayed on these two labels. And that is it for the app functioning and the app programming. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed it very much.